The jury's still out on him, and he and his agent know that. I'm thinking no more than 1.7 million AAV, 2 years max. I just think you go a little lower on the AAV to make him prove himself. I do think it's good that he's not a UFA at the end of his contract if that's indeed what they signed for. That's what a source told Montreal Hockey Now when there were discussions about Kirby Dach's contract a little while back. However, as this recent article mentions, the Carey Price injury reserve situation has changed everything. And now there are corroborating reports from Eric Engels and Elliot Friedman, who, as we know, their words is like gold, especially Friedge. It's looking like one of the options being discussed will be a 4-year deal at around $3.5 million AAV. And Eric Engels adds in this tweet, won't be surprised if that's where it lands. Now, to me, again, that completely goes against what the other source said about Kirby Dach's contract. And for me, $3.5 million for a guy who's never scored more than 9 goals and who Chicago just mentioned, a big reason why they traded him is because he has big face-off issues. That's a little rich for my blood to commit 4 years, $3.5 million. But then I started to think about it, because at first I was like, that's a lot of money for a guy who hasn't really proven himself. Like, you're paying the guy for his 3rd overall pick status at that point. But the more I thought about it, at 21 years old, he's going to have to develop in the faceoff circle. I saw somebody say Mark Scheifele didn't get great at faceoffs until 2018. So there's time for these guys to develop here. And yes, he hasn't scored more than 9 goals, but if you look at the upside, let's weigh the pros and the cons here. If you sign Kirby Dach, 4 years, $3.5 million, and he turns into a 65, 70-point scorer for the next 4 years, that's one of the best value contracts in the league. If he sucks, like let's say he puts up 9 goals, 25 points every year, you can probably live with a $3.5 million contract. And if you can't, that's one that's most likely movable. I'd say the ones that get immovable is when you start creeping it to $5 million or more. But at 3.5, there will be somebody who will most likely take a flyer on him, especially if you're in year 2, 3, or 4 of the contract. So to me, the reward here way outweighs the risk. If I'm Kirby, though, and I really have faith in myself, I believe in myself that I'm going to have a resurgence, I would sign a shorter bridge deal than that. So I think at this point, Kirby Dach, if he is indeed, and his agent are eyeing this 4-year contract at 3.5 mil, I do think that he's looking for some kind of security. He's looking to say, okay, you know what? My NHL career so far has been an absolute roller coaster with injuries, bad teams, bad slumps, and bad stretches. I just want some security that I'm going to play in the NHL and make some decent money for a while. Also, another very interesting fact about this contract, if it were to be signed, Eric Engels first reported that such a contract would carry Kirby Dach straight into unrestricted free agency in July of 2026, but later corrected himself, pointing out that thanks to an injury not suffered during NHL play in his 2nd season, it didn't count as an accrued season at only 18 games. And get this, this is also very interesting. As reported here, that being Montreal Hockey Now 3 weeks ago, the general feeling amongst other NHL executives was that given Dach's lack of production and that he hadn't exactly lived up to the expectation of being drafted 3rd overall at the 2019 draft, he wouldn't cost the Montreal Canadiens this much. And now we're just at the process where we got to trust Kent Hughes, honestly. Like, if he was willing to give up Romanov for this guy, well, he flipped Romanov for the 13th overall pick. So, I mean, he went out and stuck his neck out for that one. And then now, if he signs him to this type of contract off of what Kirby's done in his career so far, we just have to trust that the pro scouts and Kent Hughes himself have seen enough of Kirby Dach that they know he's going to be good. They know he's going to have a resurgence. And you know what? This, to me, will be one of the first really big tests from this new Montreal Canadiens management, because I saw so many guys in the Bergevin era where it was like, okay, I mean, I don't see much in this guy, but if Bergevin does, I guess we trust him? And it ended up falling flat on its face. But with this one, Look, we just got to trust it and trust that this new regime, they know what they're doing and they've done their homework on the kids. So let me know what you guys think. What would you think about a $3.5 million contract over 4 years for a guy in Kirby Dach who hasn't scored more than 9 goals? Let me know. Okay, there's some reward, there's some risk. I want to hear it. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole deal. See you in the next one. Peace out.